Alright? Quick political lesson for everyone who can be bothered to watch this video. The dominant ideas in society are the ideas of the ruling class. Think about that. It's a quote from Karl Marx. The dominant ideas in society are the ideas of the ruling class. Now, what does that mean? There are two classes in society, two main classes. The ruling class that owns the wealth, that owns the workplaces, that owns the land and the resources, and the working class that does all the graft and creates all the wealth that is then stolen by the ruling class. So you've got these two classes, and they exist in diametric opposition to each other. There is no harmony between the classes. There is no, big happy family under the national flag. All that is bollocks. You've got two classes that conflict and cannot live in harmony. They cannot live in harmony because one class, the ruling class, exists solely to exploit the other class, the working class. So you've got a class of exploiters and a class being exploited by the exploiters. Exploited for profit. Now, when I say the dominant ideas in society are the ideas of the ruling class, all that means is the ideology of the ruling class is being constantly disseminated throughout society. It's dominant. The newspapers, the TV channels, the education system, it's all shaped by ruling class power and ruling class ideology. So when we are born into this society as working class people, working class babies, we're not exactly indoctrinated. It's not so mechanical as that. It's not so obvious. It's more subtle. We're conditioned through our life experiences living in this capitalist society which is divided by class. We're conditioned every day of our lives from birth to hold these ruling class ideas. We can't help it. We're not conscious enough when we're babies and young children to know what's happening to us. In fact, most people are not conscious enough, even in adulthood, to know what's happening to them. They're not aware of it, but it is happening nevertheless. The ruling class's ideology is dominant in society, and we're all subjected to it, and we're all shaped by it, moulded by it, and it becomes part of our consciousness. So that just when we think and we speak and we interact, we repeat this shit, this ruling class ideology. We repeat it, and it gets spread around in society naturally through everyday cultural fucking behaviour, cultural phenomenon, whether it be entertainment on the telly, whether it be football, whether it's social media, pub interactions, pub conversations, whatever. It's always there, it's always dominant, and it's always being spread around and shared and repeated, and it's just part of who we are. And as I say, most people are not aware of that. They're just acting as they see it normally, but it's not normal. They've been conditioned from birth by their rulers' ideology. The dominant ideas in society are the ideas of the ruling class. Now, remember, we live in a society of class conflict where there's a ruling class and a working class. So how do we develop opposite ideas to the ruling class ideology? How do we develop working class or socialist or left-wing ideas? Because we're not encouraged to have those ideas by the ruling class, by the dominant class. But because we are part of a working class and we have no choice but to live in poverty and to live as a collective social layer in society, we go to work and we work as part of a workforce where we might have trade unions that defend us in the workplace and all this. We develop left-wing ideas to a degree. Some people don't get much of it. Some people go through the whole lives having just ruling class ideas mainly. They will always be right-wing people. Their left-wing ideas may be very minimal and not enough to counteract the right-wing ideology that dominates their brain, their consciousness. But other people will take on board more left-wing ideas, more, that come from the working class in opposition to the ruling class, and they may become highly politicized. They may become socialists. They may become Marxists if they're very advanced. They may become revolutionaries who want to bring down the ruling class and build a new society that's run in the interests of the working class. But everyone's at a different level of consciousness. Everyone has a different ratio of ruling class and working class ideas. We're all conflicted, and that's what Marxists call contradictory consciousness, where we have a mixture of ruling class and working class ideas. And those people, the majority actually, who are contradictory, they are not in a position to lead the working class anywhere. They'll go around in circles, they'll flip-flop, they'll vacillate, they'll go, they'll just take us down a dead end. They'll take us back to the ruling class and oppression. So what you need is, you need a section of society that is educated, experienced in political ideology. You need a section of the working class or the middle class, just people from both class, from the middle class and the working class, together in an organisation which is highly galvanised, highly experienced, highly educated, and can spread socialist ideas, working class, left-wing ideas further into the working class, so that you raise the level of consciousness in the working class, and the working class becomes more capable of resisting ruling class power and ideology. Now that process is ongoing. It goes forwards and backwards, up and down. It's not constant. It happens constantly, but it doesn't stay at a constant level, because we suffer defeats, we gain victories, and upturns and downturns in the struggle against the ruling class. But always the struggle is ongoing. Now, the dominant ideas in society are ruling class ideas, but everyone's ideas can change. And once we start to understand our oppression, then our ideas can change rapidly, and we can go from being puppets of the ruling class, brimming with their ideas, to actually being rebels and revolutionary socialists who want to change society for the better. So just bear all this in mind. You've got ruling class ideas in your head, and most people watching this will be very, very controlled by those ruling class ideas. If you're a lefty already, great. You've advanced beyond that control, and you're developing some independence and having some freedom of mind. If you're not, if you're still right-wing or contradictory, then you've got somewhere to go. But everyone can change, that's the point. Ideas change, and through intense struggle, political struggle, ideas can change very quickly indeed. And even Blot can change. Yes. Oh yes. You better believe he can. Even Blot. I'm going to leave it there. See you in the next one. Tatty bye.